Well then, Vinyl Monkey here, back from holiday, and I haven't had much chance to listen to much and to get back on track with me top 10s from this year and that year since holiday. So I'm going to have a go at this thing called a 365 challenge, which has been set up by well, I actually first seen it on Vinyl Richie's challenge, so he's had a go at it. Shout out for Vinyl Richie's channel if nobody's ever seen it. Yeah, he's great channel. Great collection, eclectic collection of records. I suspect he's a bit of an old punk like myself, looking at his punk collection, but I seen it on his channel, but it was set up by a guy called Christian on CGC Vinyl, and he's put out a challenge basically to pick 3 genres of music and to do 3 of one type, 6 of another and 5 of another, so 365, number of days in the year. And I think his rationale is that this marks his year as a YouTuber in the vinyl community and also trying to boost up his numbers. But he's put a prize up, which is why I'm doing it. He's put up a $40, which I guess must be 35 quid, something like that in British money, but so I don't know how he's going to pick the winner, whether he's going to just pick the one he likes most or put them in a hat and draw one out. I don't know, but just in case it's the former, I'll just say he seems like a great bloke to me, and what a great channel he's got there. But anyway, so that's the reason I'm doing this, the money. I wouldn't probably have already done it because I do have a problem with this whole idea of genres. I think it's limiting, I think it's problematic, I think it's, particularly with some art forms more than others perhaps, you know, literature for example. Literature is literature, a work of literature is a work of art, you know, why call it this genre or the other? Any literature which is being pushed by somebody into a genre I'll tend to avoid, thinking it's probably rubbish, you know, pulp fiction. But, and it's equally problematic with music and any other art form, but I can understand why people do it. But anyway, I don't like it, but I'm going to give it a go. So, while I'm doing shout outs, I've done one for Vinyl Richie, one for Christian, another one for my good friend Colin, who's occasional contributor to the comments on this channel, and I'm thinking of installing as my marketing manager after totally unsolicited he produced this. I hope you can see this. This is a do not disturb sign. I should have it on my door now actually, just in case somebody comes in. Do not disturb, sonic experience in progress, which is a good piss take on some comment I put on a previous video. Also, this great shirt and drawing, sort of merging the Vinyl Monkey and and Che Guevara, given my interest in left-wing revolutionary politics. But anyway, by the by, so 3, 6 and 5 adds up to 14 records I've got to talk about across 3 genres, which, as you know, I've only got less than 20 mins before my camera runs out for some technical reason beyond my ken. But so I better get cracking, and I'm going to be dead brief on them. And my first genre is electronic music, or electronica. Not one that I've got a big collection of, not one that immediately, you know, you'll have seen a lot of the stuff I've put up, and, you know, simple sort of bluesy 3 or 4 piece bass, drums, lead, you know, it tends to be my sort of thing. But there is some great electronic music out there. What does it mean, electronic? I guess for me it means music that's somehow been synthesized, created by some sort of electronic, computerized, synthesized means. And so I'm going to put 3 up. The first 2 are pioneers, I think, of electronic synthesized music, and the first one from 1974 is Kraftwerk's Autobahn. What a band these were. I mean, I think this was their 3rd album actually, and you might remember, those of you old enough, the single Autobahn, which was a 3-minute distillation of side 1, which runs to about 25 minutes on this. And it's just a gorgeous piece of music. It somehow merges electronic music with a sort of Beach Boysy chorus, which is it's really, really effective. They went on to produce some more great stuff. I love their the cycling one. What was it called again? Tour de France, of course. Yeah, brilliant stuff. But anyway, that's my first one, Kraftwerk Autobahn. My second in the electronica, another pioneer. This is Jean-Michel Jarre, Frenchman. This is Oxygen. Again, it had a hit single, which was I think it was part 4, Oxygen part 4 from side 2 of this album. Was a hit single back in '76. Seen this guy actually doing a free concert and light show. Light shows tend to be his thing, with big, fantastic, elaborate light shows with his concerts. And he did one in Monaco to celebrate the I think it was the wedding of Albert II or something or other. I've got no time for royalty or any of that lot, but it was a good gig and it was a free one. So yeah, Jean-Michel Jarre, Oxygen. And then from one end of the spectrum to the other, this is electronic dance music. This is one borrowed from my son Patrick. This is a guy who went under the name of Avicii. He's actually called Tim Bergling. He was a Swedish DJ. This is sort of, yeah, electronic dance music. It's I suppose it's like the modern day disco. You know, it's designed and produced to dance to, and it does certainly sound danceable. It's relatively pleasant. It sounds very synthetic. I think the voices, there are various voices on here, a bit sort of, they've been a bit manipulated, I think, but he's obviously he was a talented guy. Sadly had loads of health problems and took his own life, aged just 28, not so long back I don't think. But anyway, that's my third one under electronica, Avicii. And this was his posthumous album. He was working on it when he died. This is Tim. Okay, so that's the first genre. The second genre, now this one is problematic. This shows the problematic nature of this whole idea of genres. This genre is Americana. And I've took the definition of Americana music from the Americana Music Association, and it is contemporary music that incorporates elements of various American roots music styles, including country, roots rock, folk, bluegrass, R&B and blues, resulting in a distinctive roots-orientated sound that lives in a world apart from the pure forms of the genres upon which it may draw. Well, what a load of bollocks that is, isn't it? And how do you fit? And I think you could fit anyone from Johnny Cash, Dylan, Jason and the Scorchers, I don't know, loads and loads, right up to all sorts of stuff with this. I mean, I went to an Americana festival last year and 3 of the headliners were Van Morrison, the Waterboys and Wilco, and I don't know how they fit them into those definitions, but anyway, we stuck with it and I'm desperate for this $40, so I'm going to carry on. And my first one of the 6, this is the band of Blackie Ranchette. This is actually a vehicle used by Hal Gelb, the giant of Americana music, who formed the band Giant Sand. He's brought out loads of stuff under the name Giant Sand. I've got loads of albums under his own name, Hal Gelb. This was a vehicle he used for sort of more rocky country end of the sort of Americana spectrum, if you like, but an absolute giant, an absolute genius. Seen him a few times live, absolutely brilliant. If you've not come across Hal Gelb, look him up, absolutely fantastic. That's my first one. My second one, what another band. This is a Canadian band, the Cowboy Junkies. This is their first album, Whites Off Earth Now, recorded on one microphone in their garage, I think. Absolutely gorgeous, sparse, sort of country blues sort of sound to it. But again, still going strong, still touring, brilliant band, Cowboy Junkies. That's Whites Off Earth Now from '76. Moving forward, Justin Townes Earl. I could have had his dad on, Steve Earl, but I've put this one on because he didn't bring out many albums. He's another one who sadly took his own life, but and this is a really sad, heartbreaking but authentic, heartfelt sort of album. This is Single Mothers, Absent Fathers. As I say, really heartbreaking stuff, especially if you know anything about his sort of his life story. So that's Justin Townes Earl from 2014. My next one, Calexico, fantastic Calexico. This band was formed by two members of Giant Sand, named after a town on the Californian border, I think. And yeah, it's got a sort of Tex-Mex sound, there's mariachi horns occasionally, that type of thing. Brilliant stuff. That's Calexico, Edge of the Sun from 2015. My next one, this is the Jayhawks. These have been going for donkey's years, and every album and single I've ever heard by them is absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous harmonies, brilliant lead singer. This is Paging Mr. Proust from 2016, I think. But yeah, brilliant stuff. The Jayhawks, that's my fifth Americana one. And my last one, this is Will Oldham. Who also, he started off under the name the Palace Brothers, and then Palace Music, then Bonnie Prince Billy, which he's probably produced the most of his work under. His real name is Will Oldham. Whichever name he goes under, he writes the most brilliant, weird, idiosyncratic, brutally honest sort of songs. And he's a fantastic, if odd, singer. And just a lovely songwriter. And this is the album Songs of Love and Horror, which is basically a collection of him redoing some of his songs from his back catalogue with just him and an acoustic guitar. And it does, I think, with that sparser sort of backing, it does highlight what a brilliant voice he's actually got. Will Oldham, Songs of Love and Horror from 2018. So that's my 6 Americana albums. The next genre I'm going to do, I think I've said before on this channel, although obviously I come across as a sort of nice, pleasant bloke, I can be a contrary bastard, and given my funny problems with the idea of genre, the third one I've picked is a group of people who try and bust out the genres and knock the edges off genres and knock the walls down. This is, I've put it under the name Avon Guard. I suppose it means the vanguard or advance guard. People who are sort of pushing at the edges. I hate that saying, pushing the envelope. A load of bollocks that is. But anyway, I've got 5 of these that I think is sort of difficult to genreify and would be considered as avant-garde within their themes. The first one, this is Throbbing Gristle from 1979, the enfant terrible of the late 70s. The music press I used to read at the time, Throbbing Gristle were always in there with some of the latest exploits. I won't go into them here, look them up, absolutely notorious. And they were sort of pioneers of what became known as sort of industrial music. I mean, this feels like electronic music, but it still feels cool and fresh actually, listening to it today, if still disconcerting and a bit sort of discomforting at times. And I mean, it just, the second track on side 2, Hot on the Heels of Love, lovely song, and then it's followed by one of the sickest, awfulest, vilest songs I've ever heard, Persuasion, which, I don't know, it seems to be about rape and sexual exploitation. It's horrible, really horrible stuff. But that's Throbbing Gristle from 1979. They stood there on Beachy Head, Britain's most notorious suicide spot. Second one, this is a band I seen around the time they brought this out. I seen them in Newcastle at the Mayfair. This is Perubu. This is New Picnic Time, third album, brilliant. This is spiky, manic, edgy. Again, it was sort of classified as industrial. They're from Cleveland, Ohio, and at the time, you know, post-industrial sort of right-wing politics, Thatcher, Reagan, cities and towns going to shit. And they were reflecting that, led by this sort of manic, huge guy, David Thomas. Brilliant stuff, Perubu, New Picnic Time from '79. My next one, this is one of my favourite artists. This is Scott Walker. This is Tilt from '97. Scott Walker, just one of those artists who, the older he got, the more radical and experimental he got, and I just love that in people. You know, there is this sort of idea, isn't there, that people get more conservative and, you know, as they grow older. Well, he didn't. I hope I never do either, but brilliant stuff. Scott Walker, Tilt from '97. The next one, another one of my favourite bands, I've already mentioned them once today. This is Wilco. This is was it their third or fourth album? This is Yankee Hotel Foxtrot from 2001. And yeah, why is this Avon Guard? Well, it's because they've taken the normal sort of country-edged sort of pop rock songs, but experimenting with new sounds and noises and rhythms. They brought in a new drummer who adds a just totally different feel altogether. This was a really experimental, brilliant album. It was rejected by their record company, who thought it just wasn't characteristic of them and it wouldn't sell, but fantastic stuff. Yankee Hotel Foxtrot from Wilco. And then my last one in the Avon Guard, this is, which way up is it? It's that way. This is William Basinski from 2021. This is Lamentations. He describes himself, I think, or is he described by critics, I don't know, as a noise sculptor. And he takes random sort of noises or random notes and he tapes them and he puts them into loops and he creates sort of collages, soundscapes with them. Sometimes it seems just a sort of real mess of repetition, if you like, of noises and bangs and things. Sometimes it feels like the background soundtrack of some horror film. But the repetition, it sort of draws you into some sort of mind-numbing hypnosis, and you get into some sort of zone, and then you suddenly hear something. There's a little sound of something that's more clear than the rest of it. It's interesting stuff. You've got to be in the mood for it. It's definitely it's out there on the edges of the avant-garde, I think. But William Basinski, that's me fifth one under the avant-garde. So that's me 3 themes: 3 electronica, 6 Americana, 5 avant-garde. Christian, just send the $40 over as soon as you can, mate. It'll be very much appreciated and put to good use. Thanks everyone for listening. I'll try and get back on track next week with me top 10 from 1976. Cheers.